Good evening, guys. Welcome to Strat Chat. We got another one coming up here. A new episode with Solobass coming out of the Gambit podcast crew. So, Solo, why don't you say hi to everybody and let us know where you can see you?
Hello, everybody. Yeah, you can find me on twitch.tv/Solobass15. I keep it easy. None of these underscores, none of these weird symbols. Nope, nope. Keeping it easy.
Perfect, perfect. I will put a link to that in the description down below, so if you want to go check that out there, and I'll also link the Gambit podcast. And do you have a YouTube channel? I believe you do. I can link that as well.
I do. On YouTube, it's just Solobass15 as well.
It's like I've looked at it a couple of times, and it's one of those ones where every time I'm like on my phone and I'm trying to find that Bastila team, because I remember I watched you do it once in that fight. You do one fight with it, because you're usually around the time when I'm streaming, so I miss you and Zareth a fair amount.
Right.
So there are times when I've been able to hop in and it's been you're up and you're doing your account, and I swear that 3v3 team with you using Ray, and it's pretty incredible to watch, because it's not usually a team I would find to be very comfortable on offense. I don't have Ray, so I can't really comment too much, but usually the feedback I get is that it's like, oh, it's great to throw her on defense.
I have everybody tell me to throw it on defense. I started with the Ray mirrors in 5v5. Because if you throw JTR, BB-8, R2, and Resistance Hero Finn on a Ray team, you outspeed the other Ray team. Because no matter what team they put down, you're going to outspeed them so much that you just get so many whirlwinds out. And it's like, oh, well, there goes half their team. This is fantastic. And so it translates to 3v3. I will give credit to Zareth on the addition of Bastila to charge up the ultimate. But yeah, you're now canceling out their Ray. It's like, oh, you put Ray down. Great, I got 54 banners. How's that?
Well, the thing that impressed me so much was the inclusion of Bastila, and it was more for the ability blocks. I was like, you just keep her on lockdown. Oh. She's just iced. Like, there's just... Because it's one of those, because she's a Galactic Legend, I'm always expecting there to be, like, some sort of, like, I don't know, some big damage on the basic or something like that. But she doesn't seem to do really great damage on the basic. It's just, like, whirlwinds and the ult doing all the work.
Yeah. She's there for the whirlwinds. The ult is what catches everybody off guard, but the whirlwinds are, you blink and you lose two of your characters.
Yeah, that's actually the thing that I find most like I can deal with the ult. Like, I have a plan to deal with the ult, or I'm like, okay, so at this point I should have everybody standing. I'll be able to tank the ult out. It's no problem. But the problem is when those whirlwinds start coming in and just chopping your team in half. It's brutal. That's the hardest thing to overcome, and it's funny. Like, I was warned about it, and then I saw it, that when you get the slow Ray on defense in 3v3, where they're like,
oh yeah,
where they're trying to bait you out, so they're like, oh yeah, go ahead, throw your Kylo at it and poke somebody.
Right? Yeah, exactly. It's poke somebody other than Ray. I dare you.
Yeah. And
even if you have just a fast, like my Ray, I keep her at 502, 504, like right in that area, and so many people run fast Kylos. That's like, well, have fun.
Yeah. That's actually it's a thing, because I keep my Kylo at about 515-ish or something, because I'm going offense sets, and I can get just a hell of a lot of damage on that. Part of me in my head is thinking, like, maybe I should go more of a health based and let the mastery stack on its health, and then there's other people telling me I should go super super fast on Kylo, try to get him up to like 570, 580, something like that, and I just don't know what's the best. Like, that's the strangest part. Like,
there is no.
Yeah, it's like I can't figure out. Like, they all have virtues and they all have downfalls, and it's a strange one in the sense that I can't figure out what's. So I've just literally modded him once, and I've never touched it, just because I can never talk myself into changing up his mods.
Yeah, well, so I switched to the first Ray counter. Because of 3v3 and my Kylo, so I have a health build on my Kylo with 3 health sets, and twice in one season I tanked a Ray ultimate when it's just Kylo out there, and both times I was like, all right, here's a heart attack that I never want to have again. So what are we gonna do about this?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
yeah, health build. I like the health build on Kylo so much more.
It seems like it makes the most of what he does, which is just like the longer he sticks around, the more difficult it is to get rid of him. And it's just like the health build with his health steal and stuff like that. It's really difficult to get him out.
It it is, and the point of Kylo is he builds up his damage anyway. So, this past round I had Kylo have a 1.5 million hit. Like that's with a health build, not an offense build.
That's pretty crazy.
Uh, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. I do remember still speaking of Galactic Legends. I think you were saying that Rey to you is in your opinion the best Galactic Legend.
Yeah. For Grand Arena, like
Yeah.
I have to say Kylo for the raids, obviously, and if you care about raids, you just can't ignore that.
Yeah.
But for Grand Arena, there's no better Galactic Legend than Rey.
Yeah.
Because
how does this is a question this is just curiosity. How does Rey do against C? That's something I haven't seen, so I just don't know.
she undersizes C.
Really?
So in 5v5, it's Rey, Hoda, and Watt will beat most C comps. I mean, when you start throwing, every best Sith that there is,
yeah,
obviously you're going to have to add something more. Like, you're not going to take out Darth Revan, Malak, Vader, and a tank or something.
Yeah.
But the standard, C Sith trio and Sith Empire Trooper, you can undersize. And in 3v3, it's just straight undersize.
Okay.
Just go in with just Rey, and you can beat Sith Eternal.
Now that's interesting. That's not something I would have expected. I mean, I guess it makes sense because the mechanics. If you go in by yourself, you're not going to be able to be linked to anything. So that'll be pretty devastating to him getting to his ult. So,
right, he just doesn't.
Yeah.
He just doesn't.
And yeah, I mean, I can see that. Yeah, it's interesting because I'm in this weird spot where I have essentially the starring is what keeps me away from Rey. Like I started finally starring up those characters and things like. So, my Poe X-Wing is taking forever, and Resistance X-Wing is taking longer than it should, even though it shows up in Galactic War Store a fair amount. More importantly, freaking Rose. Rose is the big stumbling block. Until recently, I had one shard of Rose.
Oh, good lord. That'll do it. I don't even remember. Is she a hard node farm?
Yeah, she is. Yeah, it's fucking brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my plan since I've got Master Luke and Kylo, I was thinking I'll go grab C because that'll be 2 or 3 months of work, and I'm out of the stuff that I wanted to do in the interim. And then it's like, and then in 2 or 3 months, I also expect another set of Galactic Legends to come. So
right,
and then maybe I can swing back around. We'll see how long it takes me to finally go get Rey. I guess I don't know.
Well, on my alt account, that's how I am with Kylo. If you look at my first order, it's hot garbage.
Yeah.
But so I did Rey, then Jedi Master Luke, and now I'm going for C because I went to SWGOYeti.gg and I looked up the gear needed for Kylo and the gear needed for Sith Eternal. And I was like, all right,
yep,
you've made the choice for me.
That's actually another big reason why I was like, oh yeah, I think I better go get C is because, I've done, getting Master Luke for me was really difficult because, I'm a 3-year-old account, so I didn't have any Wampa and, I had to go run some light side Hoths to go get enough shards and currency to buy. I mean, I was short on Rolo and Wampa, and it was one of those ones where it was a lot there, and then gearing the characters the rebels that were needed for like Jedi Knight Luke and Knight Luke, his gearing is atrocious.
It is.
That was worse than I think that was the worst gear in the game. I mean, there was like what was it? Was six golden eyeballs or something like that, and then,
it was absurd.
Yeah. It's like every gear level, you're like, come on, can I just have like one where you don't ask for the same gear you just asked for, like just one. You know, like just one gear. Give me a gimme. How about from like 9 to 10? We're just gonna give us a free level. Can we have that? No.
Right.
All right, great. Thanks, EG. You know,
Yeah.
that one was ugly.
Have you seen the armorer's gear now? Like
I
at
have
least
not.
at least that's Jedi Knight Luke, and you're like, okay, you're one of the best non-Galactic Legend characters in the game.
Yeah.
The armor, 600 Kyrotex. 600.
Oh God! Are you shitting me?
Nope.
Oh.
That's why she's currently gear 9 for me. Because I had one set of, I guess 100 Kyrotex that I could apply to her at gear 8.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I'll at least get her to gear 9. Here's the problem. When they put 600 on something, she's going to be needed for something.
Oh, yeah.
Like Shak Ti had 500 and then you needed her. And so what the hell are we going to have come that's going to need her and fast?
You know what? I keep coming down to it. I see an epic confrontation coming. Just with the characters that have come out recently, I think you're going to have the Mando with the Beskar armor and all of those Mandalorian characters done at relics, and I'm thinking like relic 5+, no fucking around. And then I think you need armor about relic 5. I think that's the new standard. I think they're going to try to force you to have everything at relic 5,
probably
or better. And
that wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, and then it's like you're going to have Moff Gideon, and of course, because of the way everything went down, Moff Gideon's going to need a team, so you're going to need those troopers that fulfill his specific roles. Now the question is like, which ones? Are they going to be nice and let you just pick? I doubt it. I doubt it.
Here's Magma. Go gear him up.
Yeah, exactly. Magma takes like 400 or something Carbonti, doesn't he?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Yeah, I absolutely see this coming. There's going to be an epic confrontation coming out. It's going to be a fantastic character. It's going to need all of this stuff. And it's not going to be pretty, that's for sure.
I part of me really wants that because, well, kits are probably my favorite part of the game. Like, everybody complains, oh, I want content. A new kit comes out, and I'm like, ooh, what team can I run now? But the other part of it is the armor just isn't that great. Like, for the longest time, like a month, when Beskar came out, everyone's like, okay, the armor is going to be the final piece of that team. She's going to make that team great. Then we got the armor, and she has this Mandalorian tag, and you're like, okay, she's not the final piece. She's like the first piece of a team now.
Yeah.
So what's that next piece?
I think Bo-Katan. I think that's the move.
I hope so. I would love Bo-Katan in the game.
I think not only that, I could see them dropping another marquee or two that is specifically to go with her and the armorer. I could see that happening. Right now, I think the biggest use out of the armorer is with C. I mean, being able to smash Kylo like that. That to me really made my decision, because I was absolutely sure I should go for Rey next, and I was like, man, I gotta wait like 3 months for the shards. It's like, I'm not triple farming Rose. Just no way I'm doing that. I'm not spending crystals getting Rose. It's like, I'm sure the Rancor gets enough Rose, so
yes, it eats quite a lot of roses.
So how are you feeling about that raid? It's like, it's been out for a little while now. People are sort of figuring it out, you know?
Yeah, so my guild is big enough that we completed it the first time. And then they changed it. You know, they quote unquote fixed it. And
fixed.
Yeah. So we found out that first raid that we can just Zerg all of P4 if we have to. And so now it's just kind of annoying. Like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do the raid. Not because I can't. I finished first every time the last 8 times. It just, I don't want to sit there on hold. Like, okay, can you guys just... My damage was done 10 minutes ago. Can you guys just say you're ready to post, please? So I hope they fix that. And it wouldn't surprise me if they find a solution for that.
I was thinking probably the easiest way to fix that is they have the damage multiplier roll on your account alone. So the more teams you use, the nastier the Rancor gets. That would make sense to me. I don't know how they do it with their spaghetti string code, but
Right.
you know,
I
like
mean that would be fine for me. My favorite part about this raid is that the teams last for 5 minutes. Like you do a 5 minute run and then you're done. It's not like the Sith raid where you're sitting there for 25 minutes, grinding through all phases. It's like, all right, got my phase done, and then you go about your day.
Yeah.
So I actually appreciate that, except for
the fact that you have to wait for everybody.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I thought when the raid was announced, I remember thinking like the way that they would make this so Galactic Legends don't just smash it would be if they made it so just mastery cannot stack. Like you cannot stack mastery, and your mastery is reduced to 0, right? Like take everybody back to the flat, like G12 plus 5 kind of strength. And that would have made sense to me a lot. Or better yet, make the raid tankier, but make it so you don't get the raid's not one-shotting everybody you send in, and then all of a sudden there's a bit more. I think it would be a bit more fun that way. I mean, like you, I don't want to sit there for 25 minutes. Like I remember when I used to have to manually run the tank raid with my Jedi. And it would take me 35 minutes, and I'm just sitting there, and I'm like, the rewards suck. Why do I do this to myself?
Right.
And every time I'm like, I'm not going to do it next time, and of course I do it the next time.
And then you do.
Yeah.
So everybody says that the rewards suck for this raid. I want to clarify for people. If you're relicking people, the rewards are freaking awesome for this raid, because I'm greedy, and I also help run the raid. So I always allow myself to post P1 damage, which means I always finish first. So I think I have enough for 4 R8s right now.
Oh yeah.
And I can't get there because I don't have the salvage gear. So every time the raid rewards come in, it's like, you got 50 wristbands. I'm like, yeah, 50 wristbands, man. Do you know how many more of these I need?
It's a funny one. So like I've not actually completed the raid yet. Just today actually I moved to a pretty significant guild. So I'll be able to complete it the next time we go about. But it's like the raid was stressing me out so much. I didn't even want to go in there. I was like, I don't care. I'll just score a 0. Who cares? Like if you guys can complete it, great. Like I just don't want to be bothered with this. I don't want to hold damage for 30 minutes during. And it was weird because our raids were running during my basically my arena times. I'm like, I don't want to sit here for 30 minutes. Well, I'm like, what if I have a shitty climb this day, or whatever.
Right.
It's like, come on. Yeah.
I know some guilds block Kylo in P1, but we don't, because the thing is, you can get P1 done with 3 people, a total of 3 people, and you get P1 done. So why wait? Like that's what we said. Why wait for 10 rays to hit this when we can just have 3 people and you're out of it? And so we don't ban Kylos, which is why I get first, because Supreme Leader Kylo was my first R8, and it was solely for this raid. So everybody else has R7, so I'm just naturally doing, an extra million damage, other than the other people that are hitting, and they're doing the same, same things I am, just I have an R8 Kylo. Like,
do you guys in your guild, do you rotate who gets to go and hit P1, or is it always just like, I'm hitting P1, who else wants to hit it with me,
It all depends. We don't let Rays hit it, and our guild is weird. For some reason, we have 10 to 15 less Kylos than every other guild that's RGP.
Huh.
We run the comparison every time in Territory Wars, and we'll have more Jedi Master Lukes, we'll have more Sith Eternals, we'll have about the same as Rays, and then 10 to 15 less Kylo. So overall, we have the same amount of GLs, but for some reason, our guys never went for Kylo. Like, I don't know why. And so we just have less of them.
That's kind of interesting, because when he came out that he could solo the Sith raid, that's literally when everybody kind of went nuts on Kylo.
Yeah, and my guild, to this day, if you solo the Sith raid, you're guaranteed top 10.
That's amazing.
Right. Because it's one of the reasons I stay in the guild. Like, wait a minute. If I go somewhere else and I want raid rewards, you have to go out and merc in between territory war and territory battle. And it's like, I don't need to do that. Like, I just need to solo and I get top 10. And I don't care about getting first in like the regular Sith raid or anything. It's top 10 is fine. All right. That's cool, guys.
Yeah, we had a system in my last guild where we were alternating. If you hit top 10 the one raid, then the next raid you weren't allowed to hit it, so you hit a 0. So it was really great. So we'd get like 10 people getting the rewards or whatever, and then 10 new people get the rewards the next time.
Right.
It kind of started rotating, and it was pretty handy because it was only being hit by, like, at the time that the raid was launching, only about 15 people were hitting it. So
yep,
it was pretty solid.
When we this is going back, but so we had those rotations for the first ranker raid to get people Han, and then for the tank to get people GK, and then for the Sith raid to get people Treya. There's no shards in this one, so it's just kind of like, okay, guys, go, because nobody in my guild wants I shouldn't say nobody. There's a few of us that do. But everybody really doesn't care about R8 because think about it. How many R7s do you have? Most people don't have more than 20.
Yeah.
And 3 of those are for fleet that nobody wanted to R7 anyway. So how many R8s realistically are you going to have? Like, nobody's in a rush. So they're all kind of like, I get good rewards at 20 in this raid. So that's fine.
Yeah, I'm in that like bracket. I flat out don't care. Like,
yeah,
it's one of those, like, I might R8 Kenobi for the speed, but then I know the second I do that, the meta's going to change, and I'm going to be like, God damn it. You know, like,
absolutely.
So it'll basically be like that. If I R8 Kenobi, that will signal the next fleet meta, like the next day.
Can you R8 Kenobi right now, then? Can we change that, like, right now?
I don't have the mats, I'm sorry. I've never completed this raid.
Yeah, I have a list of 8 R8s that I want, and I mean total. Like, I don't want them right now, but I've looked. I have 8 that I want to get. After that, I don't know if I'll hit the raid. But
yeah.
If the guild needs like one more person to jump in and like, oh, we need one more guy to get 10%, like, I'll jump in and I'll help the guild. But once I get those 8, like, I don't want General Grievous R8. Like, no. I don't need that.
It's excessive.
Or Ahsoka. No.
Yeah, because it doesn't add a ton, and that's the funniest thing. It's like when they announced R8, I think I was the only one that was, like in the people in my guild or whatever when we first started talking about the new relic level and whatever, and some of the guys in my arena shard went out and immediately bought that $100 pack and made like their R8 slacker, and I'm just sitting there, I'm like, I can still hit you with the Jedi Luke nuke and kill you, or with my slacker, and I was just about to unlock Master Luke. I'm like, pretty sure that's not going to help you there either. Like, the 8 that I want are, well, 4 of them are the Galactic Legends, just because they're Galactic Legends and they're mastery stacks, and so start with a higher base. Like, that makes sense to me. And plus, they have the Galactic Legend Zeta, where you get bonus stats for your relic level. And it's like, okay. But then it's like Gas, Jedi Knight Luke, and Vader. Yeah.
And then Kenobi is down at the bottom of the list. If he's still meta in 2 months when I can get to him, like, I might as well. But it's going to be Gas, Jedi Knight Luke, and Vader. Like, those are the only 3 non-Galactic Legends I want.
The funny one is the only one that I think that would be best for my account, I think, is Gas. I think that's the one that would be the best for me in PvP, straight up, is just giving him more damage, more survivability. Like, he just gets more of that nastiness that he's kind of lacks, like it's one of those where it's like Jedi Luke is an incredible character. He's almost a little Kylo like that. Like, he just does those humongous hits, and he's just always coming at you, and his health regen is there, and he's got counters. It's a pretty nasty kit. But because his damage isn't really stacking, or there's no, like, cumulative thing going on there, like with gas. He's not as, I guess, viable in those non-GL counters versus, you know, someone like gas who can go after somebody, you know, like, you know, Ray with Quill and IG can probably get through that eventually because he's lowering their health pools, right? So it's gonna eventually break it all down. Whereas Luke, you probably just bouncing off of him for 5 minutes, which is really annoying.
Yeah, the reason I want Luke is just for the off-meta Supreme Leader Kylo counter. And it's like, if you're going to have an R8 SLK, I might as well have the R8 Jedi Knight Luke just keep up, like keep pace. Because if that counter goes south, it goes south real fast.
Oh, yeah. Like, I fully agree with that one. I think it's super important to, if you're going to be essentially placing those R8s, and for the people listening, like they might go, oh, the first one I'm going to do, I'm going to go throw it on my GL. I mean, that's not a bad plan. That's like never a bad idea. But if you're in a situation where you're like, guild needs you to drop a Ray, and you know, you want to make sure, like Vader specifically, I think is the most useful of all of them in terms of the bonuses he gets, because he needs so many stats. Like he needs,
he does.
He's very, very soft. So getting survivability is huge. It's like then you got to get crit chance. Like that needs to be high too. So adding crit chance, never a bad idea. You know? Like, it's like offense. Who'd have thought he needs that too?
Yeah, weird. No, Vader's a fantastic one. Yeah. I went the GL route, and the nice part about having alt account is I get to experiment. So on my main account, I have a G8, an R8 Ray. I have a G8 Ray, guys. It does well. On my main account, I have an R8 Ray. I gave my alt account, Jedi Master Luke was his first R8, just to see if there were any differences. I got to be honest with you. There's not. I mean, I noticed. No, I noticed little things like Ray's ultimate hits a little bit harder now, and Jedi Master Luke, every once in a while he'll get the AOE after he's gotten his ultimate, and just like the entire team disappears. It's like that Vigo video. I forget what he named the team, where
it's like
Jedi
Master. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, where he just does the little AOE. He puts out his hand, and the entire Sith Eternal team disappears. I do that now at R8, but it's rare that you get to that point. So, I think I've used that once.
The everything I've seen and what I've watched is with Jedi Master Luke, if you're getting to your alt, you're either screwed or you've already won. So it's like...
Well, it depends. So the ultimate is 100% better in light side territory battles, because you can get the ult there before there's 2 characters down in the first wave, and then you have the ultimate for 4 waves essentially.
Yeah, which is obviously an improvement.
Yeah, but there are 3v3 counters to Rey with Jedi Master Luke that rely on him getting the ultimate. So you bring in Grandmaster Yoda, who's going to get 55% turn meter every time you use the lead ability on him, and just spam real fast. And then you get the ultimate, and it looks like you're losing. Here's the ultimate. I win.
Yeah.
So Gom does that. If you watch some of his videos, he uses that Jedi Master Luke get to the ultimate quick to counter Rey strategy. It works well. It's not completely useless, but I get what people are saying.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah. So for me, I haven't placed the alt on Master Luke yet. I'm still I haven't been trying to get it fast. I'm just like, I climb an arena just fine without it. So I'll get there when I get there. And now I'm thinking I'll save the mats, and when I get C, then I'll have an alt sitting waiting for him, and so he'll have it immediately and not be useless until I get the alt.
Fair. Yeah. I will say I climbed with C without the ultimate. You play it completely different than when you have the ultimate, because when you have the ultimate, it's literally just hang out until you get the ultimate, and then look, the team's gone. When you don't have the ultimate, so it was annoying because like you would link Jedi Master Luke and Gas first. They'd lose all their protection. Then you'd link Jedi Knight Revan and Jedi Knight Luke. They'd lose all their protection. And then you're just basically picking off a team with no protection.
Yeah.
But the fights took much longer. Now a Sith Eternal fight takes like a minute. It's like, all right, you go. I got my ultimate. Gone.
It's like, watch this magic trick.
Right. There is no strategy. It's literally just, oh, the bar's yellow. Click.
Be like, thanks for playing, guys.
Right.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, I don't know why, but like I remember watching the first Sith Eternal thing, and I've even watched the ones where people are like, this guy sucks, and they're showing like a down thing, and I'm like, I don't know why, but I just want that character.
So I use him to climb in my arena because everybody has Jedi Master Luke, so half of my climb is with Sith Eternal. He's just fun. Like, he's one of those characters where you're just like, man, he does something really cool. Like, I know he's not the best, but God, is it fun.
That's like that, and I was thinking about the GAC applications. It's like you take them on offense, they don't have anything else to kill with it. You're like, watch me solo this Padme team. This is gonna be fun.
Oh yeah. In Grand Arena, I've soloed Padme, I've soloed Gas. I've in Arena, I've been practicing. It's Sith Eternal plus Watt.
Yeah.
Will counter almost any Rey team. It won't counter like the hardcore Jedi.
Yeah, the Jedi Titans team.
Yeah, but just Rey with Resistance heroes. It's Sith Eternal, Watt, done.
Yeah, that's something I definitely am looking forward to, because like I said, that's just fun. There's nothing not fun about that. You're like, this is probably gonna work, like 99% of the time it's gonna work, but if it doesn't, people are gonna be like, why did you try that, dumbass? And you're like, because it worked 99 times. Right.
Why would I not? Come on. Oh god, the Gas one is the best. It's honestly hilarious to watch the Gas one, because he just kneels down and then he never gets back up. And then, so you kill the 4 clones and he gets back up. And then you have a moment of panic because, he gets up and he hits like a truck when he gets up. And you're like, am I going to survive this? Am I going to survive this? You survive. You take 1 turn and he's gone. Oh, all right. Not bad.
Yeah, like I said, that's just fun. Like, it was funny, I was watching Klesso's latest video, and he was doing your Bastila one, and I loved it. Yeah. He prefaced it, he's like, I sped it up, you guys don't want to see this.
Oh, God, that's so true. Especially now that all the Rey teams have Queel and IG-11.
Yeah.
But you still win. I think I did it, this past round, and it took me 3.5 minutes to get through them. So I wasn't in danger of timing out, but it was just one of those, oh my god, is this over yet? Yeah. And you kind of feel bad when you're streaming with these fights, because you're like, yeah, guys, sorry, I can't pay attention to you because I need to pay attention to actually make this happen. But you're watching kind of grass grow for the next 3 minutes.
Yeah, just be like, all right, guys, I'll be back to you in about 4 minutes. Let me just go see. Let me go see how many times I can lifeblood Bastila here. Let's see.
Right.
1,
yeah,
2,
exactly.
3. Does anybody want to guess how many times I lifeblood Bastila in 4 minutes? Put your answers in chat. We'll figure it out.
Oh man, yeah, it's not the exciting one. Like, you talk about Sith Eternal being just fun, and it is. But Rey, she might be the best, but God, she is not the most fun to use. She's just like, you're in damage immunity again, and you're slowed down. All right,
she is the last. She is the last Jedi of the Galactic Legends.
Yeah, yes. Right.
It's like, take the Star Wars stuff out of it. Probably a good movie. Probably. Put the Star Wars stuff into it. I don't think I need to watch that one again. We're good.
Oh, poor Rose. Poor Rose. She was never given a chance.
Well, I'll tell you what. The Rancor is a big fan.
She is quite tasty. The Rancor does it for love.
Yeah, it's just high up on that menu, It's just like that Twi'lek that gets dropped down in Jabba's palace. Now he just gets Rose, and he's like, you know what? I'm okay with that.
I really wish I had a Gamorrean guard to throw in there too. Except for I'm not giving him relics.
Yeah,
not until I'm told I have to.
I was going to say, like, that would be kind of amazing is to run a team with Gamorrean Guard against the Gamorrean Guard in P1.
Oh, God.
Like, how
that would be hilarious.
That'd be a funny one. You're like, all right, guys, I invested a lot of gear to be this stupid. Let's see how.
Oh, you know, there's people out there doing it too.
Oh, totally. Like,
yeah,
that's the one. That's the one. It's like, you know, when people get something and they just think it's cool and they're gonna do whatever. Like when you see the guys, like Jawas, they're super fun. I mean, they're never good banners, but they're fun. So you see like the people with the relic Jawas and stuff like that, and it's super cool to watch because I don't have relic Jawas. So when I see somebody else do it, I'm like, oh shit! Like they're gonna take out this Grievous.
I had a guild mate. It was in my alts guild, so not my main, thank God. But he was like, he got his Jawas to just relic 0, and I was like, you're so stupid. Like, why the hell are you doing this? He's like, I'm gonna beat Grievous, and then he didn't beat Grievous because they're all relic 0, and so you just start seeing like his Jawas creep up to relic 1, like all 5 of them. And relic 2, all 5 of them, and then it's like gets to R5, and I was like, you could have just R5'd your entire Jedi team and taken out Grievous for max banners. Like, what the hell are you doing?
He's like, Jawas, Utini bomb.
It's like Fort Mort dropping it off with the, you know.
Yeah, it is pretty interesting to see those kind of things working when someone's playing with something that's totally different. Like you see like the new Clash video come out or something, and you're like, oh, what's he doing? You know, and you go and you check it out, and you're like, I'm never doing that, but that's amazing.
Yeah. You see what he's doing, you try and copy it, and it's like, I can't make this work like Clash.
And then you've got that Relic 7 Vandor for life.
Yes, you do. For that. Oh God! Thank God I don't have that. It was what was it? It was the Darth Revan counter where it was like R7 Fandor and Nest, and eventually Nest just went wild, and you're like, that looks so cool. I'm not doing that.
But it was funny. Like I remember when that came out, and people were telling me about, you know, they started farming Vandor. They're like, dude, I got to get a Relic Vandor, and I'm just like, I'm sitting there, I'm like, yeah, but like he's got all of his premium mods on there and stuff. Like this is like this is like an arena mod thing. Like, are you going to be running like a slow Darth Revan in Grand Arena so you can use this counter? Like, come on.
Well, and that's the catch on a lot of these videos. Clash at least will tell you up front, like, hey guys, I put my best mods on here, but look at what I can do, and everyone's like, that's amazing.
It's
sometimes
cool
you watch
to
these. It is. It's really cool to see. But sometimes you watch these videos and you're like, I can make that team. That team's not that bad. And then you find out they went up against like a Supreme Leader Kylo with no mods.
Yeah.
I haven't been able to make this work once.
Yeah, there's a few content creators I absolutely swerve just because of that kind of stuff. Like, where I'm just like, it's funny. That character did not get one shot. Mine always one shots, stuff like that. So what's the difference?
And that's the biggest problem. So thank God I'm done running Territory Wars in my guild. So I did it for 4 years and it's exhausting. But now, you know, one of those videos come out and the first thing that happens during Territory Wars is, guys, I have this team built up. And it's just, no, you don't. You don't have that team built up. Nobody has that team built up.
You're like, all right, let me see the mods here. Are we talking the best mods, or are these like the green mods that you had on them and before you geared them?
The pain is real. The pain is real. Gosh, I don't understand why this didn't work. It's like they actually just had this territory war, and we lost. We went up against ANZGC's territory war guild. Like they're, you know, hardcore focused. They made everybody R8 General Kenobi so that they could win in territory war type guild. And we weren't going to beat them. So we hit a Supreme Leader Kylo section. We had already lost, and we're like, all right, guys, go practice things. Like, you know, take this time to practice. We've already lost. Go
have fun.
And one guy's like, I don't get it. My Jedi Master Luke lost against Supreme Leader Kylo. So I was like, well, did you have gas on the team? No. you have Jedi Knight Luke on the team? He's like, no. Did you at least have Yoda on the team? Like Grandmaster Yoda on the team for all the turn meters? Like, no. I'm like, well, no crap, he lost. Like,
It's
what
like,
are you doing?
Meanwhile, he's like, but I had Ayla Sakura.
Yeah, right. I had a GL. Isn't that enough?
Like, sadly, no. Jedi Master Luke is the tank the Jedi needed for the longest time. Except they decided to make him a galactic legend, which I guess is okay because now he can't get like executed or whatever. But it would make so much more sense if Jedi Knight Luke was the galactic legend and Jedi Master Luke was basically the light side Malik.
Yes, I 100% agree with that. Like, give Jedi Knight Luke the Galactic Legend tag and let his stats scale. And then, I mean, if you had just switched the kits, like, Jedi Master Luke would still be, I forget what is he, like a heroic or whatever tag they want to give him, like a fantastic character.
Hero's Journey or something like that.
Yeah. He would still be just great. Just, you know, he wouldn't be the Galactic Legend version. He would be the tank.
Yeah, and it's funny because I remember thinking when they were gonna bring out a Jedi Knight Luke, I was like, you know what? Like, the one thing the Jedi needs so bad is a non-Kenobi tank, like a good tank that's not General Kenobi. Like, it was hilarious watching every single kit reveal, and it's like, oh, it synergizes with General Kenobi. Oh, really? Like the last freaking 5 characters you released? Great.
You don't say.
Like, oh, the best light side tank synergizes with this light side character. Groundbreaking.
My favorite's one. Oh, this dark side character synergizes with this light side tank. Weird.
Yeah, it's really bizarre. But yeah, it's weird having Galactic Legend tank like that because I almost don't know what to do with him. You know, like I have him modded for speed and protection at the moment.
Yep.
From what I understand, that's probably not the best way. I should probably go slow and super tanky.
I have him speed and protection, but that's for arena climb.
Yeah, that's how I've been.
I want to go first.
Yeah,
right.
So I've got him. He's not even ridiculously fast. He doesn't have all my best mods or whatever, but he's got my fastest protection mods. You know,
right?
So I've got him at like 550 or something like that, but it goes before almost everybody in my arena shard, so it doesn't really matter. And it's a strange one because people are like, one of my viewers, a buddy to my Discord chat, he runs it slow with offense, and apparently that works too. And I'm like, okay, cool. And then someone was like, yeah, I go slow with all protection mods, like protection arrow all the way around. And I'm like, oh, okay. And apparently that works too. And I'm like, okay. You know, like they're like, oh yeah, as soon as you mark their JKR, you hit auto, it's fine. And I'm like, that's okay.
I when I first got him, and for probably the first month that I had him, I ran an offense set and a potency set with all protection primaries, and I loved how he was modded. He worked great, but then other people started getting him, and I had to start doing the mirror matches. Fine, I'll speed him up now, and I have mine, I think, at like 530 right now, but I have a stupid fast Jedi Knight Revan because he's the key to the team. You know, if their Jedi Knight Revan marks your Jedi Knight Revan, you lose. If your Jedi Knight Revan, or at least it's a tough fight. If your Jedi Knight Revan marks theirs, you win. So it's like, so I think I have a plus 173 set on my Jedi Knight Revan. He's, I think, like 340 something. It's stupid fast.
Yeah, that's
just so I can go first and get him.
That's where I'm thinking I need to go with the team is I need to start putting my best mods back on Jedi Knight Revan. And it's a funny one because I used to run Revan in the arena back in the day. That was like my first major character. That was my first G12 actually. It was Jedi Knight Revan, and it was like my first major team. He was, I think, my third G13 or something like that.
Yeah,
you know, it's one of those, and then I shifted to Padme and everything, and so it's like slowly he just lost mods. You know, like, you know, okay, with this one's almost as good. So, you know, he loses 2 speed there. This one's almost as good there, so he loses the speed there, and it just starts just dropping a little here, a little there. Next thing you know, you're like, I got to keep him above 300. This is getting ridiculous.
Right. I did that exact same thing. Yeah, but The thing that motivated me to super speed him is there's one guy in my shard that runs him at 338. And it's annoying because he's the guy that has the payout before me. So I had to beat him every day.
Yeah.
And, you know, 4 times out of 5, he marks somebody else and it's an easy win. But then that 1 time out of 5 is always the day you're running late on your payout. And you're like, God damn it.
You're like, I got 20 minutes. I just need this to work. God, no, why did you mark Jedi Revan?
Exactly. So I was like, you know, screw it. He's getting the best. I don't care. Like, you're fast.
You're like, I am done with this shit. We're going to do it this way.
Yep. Every sliced mod was like, all right, you're going on Jedi Knight Revan. You hit speed over 25? Come on. You're coming with me.
Along. Yeah, I've got a pretty nasty opponent for my next round. I did the first thing I do before I started like kind of feeling a little bit poorly today was I moved his show by speed kind of thing. And his fastest non-galactic legend was Jedi Revan, and I'm like, is that a good thing or a bad thing? I click on it, it's like 173. I'm like, bad thing, definitely a bad thing.
That's a bad thing.
And then I'm like, hopefully there's a nice big gap between him and Darth Revan. I look at Darth Revan, he had a 173 set as well. I was like, what? Another one? Is it the same one? Like, how does this happen? How do they coexist? And then to fuck me up even further, his Bastila Fallen, a 173 set. I was like, how do you have 3 173 sets?
Yeah, that's truly absurd. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have I don't count the speed on the Galactic Legends just because a speed set adds what 30 or like an extra 30 just because of their base speed. But I have like the Jedi Knight Revan 173, and then it's like, oh, back down to 150 or whatever it is. Oh, back down to reality down here, guys.
Yeah. You're like, you might have got scared on this first one, but I'm much more manageable at this second guy. Yeah, I literally looked at it and I'm like, oh, it's like how, like that, like I'm in a weird spot because I never end up like with I don't have a ridiculously fast Darth Revan or anything, but like I never get outsped. I never have that problem. Like every once in a while there's someone with like a faster Darth Revan or a faster Bastila or something like that, but usually not both, and usually not by that much. So I haven't done the bot compare yet. I'm like just terrified he's gonna have like 15 plus 25s or something.
That's they added this splicing in, and I know people that were like, I'm gonna go for all these secondaries like offense or whatever they were going for in the secondaries. Guys, I'm going for speed. Like I will eventually go for the secondaries. Don't get me wrong. Like I get why you want a 12% offense mod. Like it's a badass mod. But I want the 27 speed or the 28 speed. Like that's what I'm going for, and that's what I'm gonna get. And man,
yeah, it's like I look at the thing. So I started looking at. I had some really spectacularly bad luck at the beginning. So I hit my first one, it hit speed, it was amazing, and then the next 7 hit like flat defense. Like the worst possible option was getting hit, and I was just like, and then I like clenched up, and I didn't spend any of those mats for at least, I don't know, I want to say 2 months or something. Like I just didn't spend any from that first 8 to like basically right till I got Jedi Master Luke. I didn't spend any of them. So I just hoarded them, and I'm like, whatever I put on him or whatever, I'll slice his and see if I can get it. And even then, I had some like pretty gnarly luck. Like I hit 3 up to get that 5th speed, and then then I hit 3. The other 3, I hit 2 that got the speed by blue. So I sliced it twice and finally hit it. And the other 3 mods on that character all went gold and never hit. And it was just like every time it hit, I was like, oh god.
Yeah.
Like another one, I was like, oh, sweet Jesus, why are you doing this to me?
Yeah, I made the rule for myself, and I've stuck fairly close to the rule of I am not slicing a mod that has flat defense on it. just not doing it.
It's like, it's going to happen.
Yeah. I made a couple exceptions because, like, the other 3 stats are, all right, I don't care if either 3 of these hit. Inevitably, every time, flat defense is going to hit at least once, and you're just, Oh, there goes a little piece of my soul
Yeah.
flying away somewhere.
That's a pretty apt descriptor, because that's what it feels like every time you hit the worst possible option. You're just like, there are three
Yeah.
things here. Like, okay, so it's like on my Master Luke mod, it was like, okay, there's potency percentage. I'm okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
There's protection percentage. I'm okay with that. There's offense. I'm okay with that too.
Right.
Something like that. And then of course it's the one that, like you'll get the one where it has two of those plus speed, and then something stupid like flat defense, or you get like the one where it has like a 1% tenacity. You're like, please don't hit that tenacity.
Yeah.
Please don't you fucking hit that tenacity. And it hits the tenacity. You're like, God.
Yep. That's why I do all my modding in bunches.
Yeah.
All of it. Because inevitably, like, the rule of large numbers says that at some point you're going to hit. It's like, you're going to hit one. And if I hit one, I'm like, oh, great, I hit one. Like, look at this mod.
Yeah.
I just, on my alt account, I've been farming mods, because you can never have enough speed mods. But I think I went 2 weeks without actually upgrading any of the mods. And every day I farmed mods and was like, you need to sell mods to bring these mods back into your inventory. So I'd go in, sell all the grays. And so I finally sat down and I hit like a plus 20, a plus 18, and then a couple others, in the 15 to 20 range.
Yeah.
Or 15 and 19 range, I should say. And then I was like, oh man, I just hit 4 great mods. Never mind that I probably leveled 135 mods. But I hit 4 great mods. I was like, yeah, this was a good day.
So yeah, that's what I always do. Kind of a thing where I'll farm a bunch of mods, and then I'll sit on them. Like, so the grays, I've started actually going around and rolling them, which is the weirdest thing. And so I roll them and see if they hit speed. If they hit speed, then I'll hit it to, I'll slice it to green, because I have tons of those mats. So
thousands.
It's like, all right, yeah, like, let's try it. And if it hits speed again, it's like, ooh. Oh, it's happening.
Yeah.
It's happening. But it's like I only slice a gray mod that hits 5 speed. It was one of those. And then it's like my greens, I'll build up a big pool of greens. And so once I'm done with my grays, then I start working on the greens. All the greens that hit speed, we slice them. If they hit like 10, they're getting sliced all the way to gold. Just do. If they go in that 8 to 9 kind of thing, like, it's really brutal when it hits 6. You're just like, really? Like, it's a 3 and it hits speed, and then it hits 6, and you're like, I kind of want to sell you, but you did hit speed, so I kind of want to slice you. Like, why did you do this to me? Like, the worst. I had one that was recently. It hit speed 4 times on top of the original roll of 3, but every hit was a 3. It's like. I was sitting there. I was like, I want to be mad, but I'm like, I'm kind of not mad, but I'm kind of mad. Like,
At least it's a plus 15 mod. You're like, I can use plus 15 at least.
Yeah, you're like, yeah, plus 15. That's a great mod. I'm like, never mind that it hit speed 5 times. Like,
right.
You just sit there like, oh god. I just remember, I'm like, oh, I hit speed. Oh, it's at 6. Oh, I hit speed. It's at 9 though.
Yeah.
I'm at 12. 15. Wait, no. Yes. Damn it.
Just one. If you had just hit 6 once, I would have taken those other 3s.
just one. It would have been a beautiful day, a beautiful dream.
Yeah.
Like, it was like one of those. It was like, couldn't they roll 4s at least? Like,
yeah.
that would just push
right.
it.
4 4s, and you're at like a plus 20 mod.
I know, it'd be perfect. But it just didn't happen. But yeah, so then I'll slice up all the greens, and anything I finally was ruthless, and anything 3 speed that is not currently on a character and cannot be replaced with something faster was sold. Like, it was one of those. I was just like, you know what? There are some cool little niche mods in here that might be useful, but come on, like, it'd be nice to have this 9% potency mod that has 3 speed be useful, but I doubt it. So I'm just gonna.
Yeah. So on our Discord server, we have the slice 'em up section that every Discord server has. That's like, oh, show off the mods that are gonna make me hate you. And every once in a while, somebody will show like a mod that didn't hit speed, and like, But look at these other secondary stats, and people are always drooling over it. I'm like, how are you guys really going to use that? Like, I can probably name on one hand the characters that don't need speed.
Yeah.
After that, you don't need that many of those mods. You need like 15 of those mods, and then it's all right. Everybody else needs speed, guys.
Yeah, it's like, and it's one of those ones I keep running into whenever I look at these niche mods that should have been amazing, right? Like, oh, I had like this one. It was like an offense set, and it had 3 speed, and it rolled flat offense to like 150, and I'm like, that's a great mod. I should keep that. I'm gonna find a place to use it. Weirdly, all these characters with all my offense sets, I've never put it on any of them.
Yep.
Never once. It's never once found any kind of home. I mean, it wasn't even on my G12 clone Sarge. So,
yeah,
that tells the story right there. Like,
yeah. I mean, it's like, and then there's one guy that every time they'll be like, well, you put that on Geospy. Geospy needs 5 mods, guy. 5.
You don't need to have 15.
Other than the arrow, like.
Yeah, this isn't like a professional sports team where he needs like an alternate away jersey.
Right,
just mod him once, call it a day.
Yeah, it's like, yes, you're right. He doesn't need speed, but he only gets modded once. That's come on. And then he'll be like, well, what about Resistance Trooper? When was the last time I used Resistance Trooper when it wasn't for a feat? Like, you're right. He doesn't need speed either. That's because he doesn't need mods. I don't use them.
Yeah. Like, I could feed him to the Rancor and it'd be okay. I mean, Rancor might be upset that he didn't get his daily dose of Rose, but, you know.
He might demand a second sacrifice, yeah.
Yeah, but it's a kind of an interesting one. But basically for me, it's like I just keep trying to keep trying to slice, and I kept trying to talk myself into keeping some of this bad stuff, but literally anything that wasn't 5 speed got absolutely sold. And now I got to go through all the blues that are still 5 speed and sell most of those, because that's where I might find a few niche ones that might work, because I do use those every now and then. But like, it's just a weird thing where, as much as I want to move away from speed, as much as the game tries to tell you they're going to move away from speed, this is a turn game. It's all about speed.
It's 100% about speed. I'm going to say regularly, but it's not that regularly. I routinely will go through my mods, and I have the numbers down. If a gold is below +10, you're gone. You're sold. If purple is below +9, out the door. And I think blue, it's +7. I give blue up to +7, then green, it's +5.
Yeah.
Everything below those numbers, you're gone. Because I'm going to gamble, because I like to gamble, and I'm like, oh, I can try this mod. Let's see if it rolls. And then it won't roll. Or it will, and because it was a purple mod at like +6, it rolled up to +10, and so what the hell am I going to do with this?
Yeah, you're like, now I don't really have a home for this mod.
Yeah, so I set those rules for myself that I have to follow. That way I don't look at it and be like, I could roll that. Let's see where it goes. Well, because it's not going to go anywhere well.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's the thing I kept telling myself on some of these, is that I was like, you know what? If I need it for something, it's already hit speed. I can roll it, and maybe it'll hit again, you know?
Yeah.
And maybe, you know, that 6 turns into an 11, or maybe a 12 if I'm lucky. But I know it'll happen. If it hits speed, it's going to be a 3. And I'm going to be looking at a +9 that's blue or purple now, and I'm going, I mean, I can use this, but do I want to? Like,
right. My goal when I sell mods is I look at it and I say, can this roll up to +15? The answer is no. It needs to go.
Yeah, you're like, yeah, okay, you're gone.
I don't need another +10. If I'm farming and I get a +10, I'm going to say, great. You know, I could probably find a home for this on, you know, the B side of the roster.
Yeah.
But I don't want to slice up a mod and spend, you know, a day's worth of farming materials just to get a +10. Like, it's not what I'm going for, guys.
Well, I think that's where I got lost a little bit when because I'm one of those ones where, you know, I found Reddit early, I found YouTube early, and I started watching stuff. And so I've been as much as I can investing my crystal income on mods, at literally as much as I can. And I've been doing it for a long time. And one of the things that I kind of realized is that my mods hit like a sticking point at one point where I just wasn't really getting much better stuff. And it was because I was slicing too much. I was just slicing too many things that weren't good enough. And it was really funny. Like, I'd be like, okay, well, if this hits, this would be a great mod. Because I didn't have a lot of good mods at the time. So for me, hitting like a plus 11 was amazing. That could might even end up in an arena team. You know, it's like one of those. And, you know, and I look at some of my like early 60s and I'm going like, ooh, at least we need pilots. You know, like, you know, like it's some of those. It's like not a bad mod or something because it'll be like a +5 speed, but it has like good defensive stats, and it was on someone like Sith Empire Trooper. So it's like, okay, that's okay. You know, like I can live with that. But you know, it's a weird one. It's just you keep looking at as you're like going through and slicing and wasting all these materials. You know, then I finally started. I remember I think it was Sim and Laz in my Discord server there. I think they go into the Gambit as well, so you should probably know. Yep. They were saying something like, why don't you like slice mods, you know, for half the week and then farm new ones? And I remember thinking at the time like, yeah, that's not a bad idea. I could do that. And I started doing that. You know, where I'd spend I'd fill up my basically my mod inventory, and then, you know, level those up and check those out and slice what's around and stuff, because I was really devoted to the slicing at that time. Yeah. And I started getting so many more good mods quickly. I was like,
funny how that works. Yep.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. It's like all I had to do is like level it up to 12, and I got a mod that's going on somebody. That's great. Like I have to place it somewhere because it's good enough. You know, like, yeah. So that it took me a while to break that though, because it's like selling stuff that I think might be usable is always the most annoying part of the mod game, essentially, because you're like, so could be usable, could be.
That's when I sell stuff, I literally don't look at anything other than the speed.
Yeah.
Like, I literally just look at that number. I don't look at the offense because that'll tempt me. I don't look at, you know, protection percentage. It's just like, nope. Oh, that's +6. Sell. So sell.
Yeah.
So and I sort by speed too, and then I just click select all, and then I unselect the ones over 10 or whatever it is.
And then there you go. Well, I lock my way of dealing with that kind of stuff is I lock everything that hits speed. That's like my move. And then that way it's like if I want to sell something that's hit speed, I have to unlock it. Like, that's like my safety catch, because I remember I've seen 2 streamers, I think, sell their mods on accident.
Oof.
You know, and then like had to go and kind of ask CG for them back. Like, can I have my mods? I made a boo-boo.
Yeah. I will immediately, if I slice a good mod, if I slice like a +14, it'll hang out on my inventory for a while. If I slice like a +20, it will immediately go on like Gar Saxon or something. Like, I'm just throwing them on a crappy tune, and then when I'm ready to actually put the mod on somebody, I'll like filter the mods by speed. Like, oh look, that one on Gar Saxon is above all these other people. Okay, let me swap that over. I immediately place it on a character. I was doing the lock thing for a while, and then I was locking mods I shouldn't be locking. You know, the ones that I should be selling.
Yeah.
And then I just got pissed at myself because I had to go in and unlock all these mods. So it's like, no, you know what? Let me just throw it on somebody. I can't.
Well, for me, it's like it's literally my signification, because at the time I was in like Division 3 when I started doing this, or Division 4, so I couldn't like mod everybody because it might push me up into another division. So I'm like, and
that's fair.
It's like and I don't really have a lot of characters I can store mods on, which is the funniest part because I'm just so lean. Yep. Like I've got 78 G13s at 5.3 million or something. So it's like I literally have like 10 G12s, 10 G11s, G8s or not activated.
Yeah. So I was around for the whole when territory battles started, and when territory battles first started, it was all about your overall GP, and that's because there was no Grand Arena. So all guilds were looking at was how many stars you're going to get us. So there was a big push back then that every character had to be level 85. Yeah. I did not agree with that. but I did get every character up to 65. Um, and so literally every character can get mods. And once I hit Division 1, 2, I was like, it doesn't matter with, these bottom feeders. Like, all right, you're activated. Come on. And now I activate somebody that immediately goes up to 85. And it's like, all right, you're good. I won't put gear on them, but they're automatically 85. That way, if I need them, I don't have to find the credits.
See, that's the problem. I'm still always short on credits because I can't. I'm like an addict. I look at the mod like store several times a day. Just like I look through everything. I'm like, is there a +5 gold? Ooh, what else you got? Like. And I'm sitting like, that should be fun. 4 million? That's a steal.
When that mod store came out, I cursed CG so much because they made the refresh for it, 15 crystals. And it is so easy to sit there and say, click refresh. Click refresh. Click refresh. Next thing you know, you spent like 150 crystals. I have a problem, guys. I'm going to put my phone down right now.
It's like, guys, someone take this away from me. It's a funny thing. It's weird when someone who doesn't play this game like sees you doing something like modding. Like, like I had someone coming over today. Like I said, I just moved guilds, and there's like mod compliance on various teams and stuff for counters.
Yeah.
And so I was going through and moving some stuff around, and I'm just sitting there like engrossed in the screen, and they're just sitting there looking at me like, so hi. And I'm like, 1 second. I'm trying to find the right mod for Darth Malik.
Listen, this mod has to have a certain speed, has to have a certain defense. We need to get our 5s at 80%, all right?
Yeah, it's like if it's 80 or nothing. 80 or nothing.
Yeah.
Which is a funny one. I literally found a mod that I remember when I got it. I remember when I rolled it, it was like +15 speed, defense primary, defense set, cross, which was the one thing I was missing from my 5s. And I'm like, and I remember it had something else on it. I want to say it had like, either protection or health or both or something. Like it was just a ridiculous tank mod. And then I forgot about it. Like I got it when I was like playing on my phone or something, and I was like, oh, note to self, lock the mod, move. And then so like I go and I'm looking through stuff, and I'm like, wait a minute, defense primary cross, defense set, 15 speed, with like tank stats. When did I get this? It's like I was like, do I already have that? I thought I put one on 5s, and I go and look at 5s, and I'm like, no, he still got. Oh.
Yep.
It's like now I'm at 81%. I'm like, finally, it's happened.
Oh yeah, I hate remodding for Territory Wars, and specifically for Territory. I hate remodding in general, but there's nothing worse than like, okay, we're gonna run this counter. We need this, but that's not how I want to run my guy. So make a different mod set. Oh, I have to make another mod set and swap mods.
That means I'm going to have to make like 3 other mod sets
for
this. For the characters I'm stealing these mods from. Great. Yeah. So now I'm like, how much of somebody else's set can I steal? Like to try to make it the least amount of like, secondary damage, that collateral damage. I'm like, okay, so if I steal these 3 mods from that guy and these 3 mods from that guy, that should work with all this. Okay, let's try that. Okay, it works. It's good. It's good. So now what mods do I put on these guys in this weird Territory Wars loadout?
Yeah, exactly. I made the mistake of every once in a while somebody will approach me and say like, oh, can you remod my roster? And part of me is like, oh, this is exciting. I get to mod somebody's roster from scratch. And then you start doing it. Yeah. And it's like, I forgot. Like, it's exciting for the first 10 to 15 characters because you're like, man, look at what I got this Supreme Leader Kylo doing. Yeah. God, this gas is going to hit so hard. And then you're like, oh, but I'm down modding Holdo right now. Like, this is a lot less exciting at this point. And then you're getting to, like, the 120th character. And I can't do this anymore. like, why did I do this?
It's like, what's available? Great. Health sets, perfect. There. Done. All right.
Yeah. Why does this Scav Ray have defense sets? You want she's squishy. You want her to survive.
Yeah,
I
she
swear.
needs to take a hit. Like,
Yeah.
it's like I have a funny one. It's so I don't have I have a ton of offense sets and I don't have a lot of crit damage sets, and I was just trying to move crit damage sets today, and I'm like, I really only have like 2 or 3 good decent crit damage sets, and I'm like, I got a whole bunch of offense sets. Like let's see, what are we gonna do here? Like,
Yeah, isn't that that's always the depressing thing. So like my alt account is the opposite, where I have a ton of crit damage sets. Offense, I have like 3 total, and I'm always like, oh man, this guy really wants. Never mind.
yeah, he wants crit damage.
Yeah. His crit chance is 50%, but don't worry, I'm going to put this crit damage set on him. When he crits, man, you're going to feel it.
It's going to be amazing.
Yes.
It's like, let me get those crit chance primary triangles over here. All right.
It's like, oh, this is a counter to a team with General Kenobi that's going to have crit damage. I don't care. Here's a crit damage set. You got this.
Well, it's like my Vader. It's like to get the speed and to get the crit chance, to get the offense, to get the potency, and all the stuff like around where I need it to be. I've got like a crit chance primary on the triangle.
Yep.
And it's a funny one. So he's running offense set with the crit chance primary, and it's a great set on him. It covers basically everything, and it's like I remember I put it in the mod compliance, and it's like does not failure Vader not crit damage triangle. I'm like, but I need the 75% crit chance.
Right. Yeah.
It's like I can't make a miracle.
Vader is the hardest. Vader and Rey are probably my 2 least favorite ones, because Rey, I have full mod sets, or full health mod sets. I think she's up over 245k health now, but she does like a little bit of offense too. Yeah. And it's one of those. In fact, Zareth, probably the biggest thing we disagree about on this game is he mods Rey for offense. Like pure offense. I mod Rey for pure health, and it's like, which one of us is right? And the answer is both of us, because we both win every time we use her. Like, clearly we're doing something right, but man, her and Vader, like, I can't hit the stats I want to hit in every single category.
Yeah, it's always a give and take with those multi-stat characters. Like, and it's crazy. Like when you look at certain characters, when you need to hit all these things. Like with one, if you're like, okay, I need to hit speed and offense. Okay, that's pretty doable. Like you're like, this mod has speed and it's offense primary. Perfect. Like it comes together. It's like with Vader, you're like, okay, so I can go big on the potency or the offense or crit damage, but to do the crit damage, I'm only going to have like 60% crit chance. Oh boy, what am I going to do here?
Yep.
So it's like I have this funny Vader set where I have it's offense with a potency subset. And it's offense primary on the cross, which, of course, everybody's like, oh, you just throw potency on the cross. I'm like,
yep.
But like my 9,000 damage Vader does not have a crit damage triangle because he needs the crit chance. So I need the offense. It's got to be there. And I've got like 90-something% potency, but it's not 100. I'm like, it's going to work.
Oh, that's the hardest part about having 2 accounts is like I got Vader. I loved my Vader on my main account, and then I have him on my alt account. I have to do this again? I can't do this right now. Like, I can't do this again. Damn it.
You're like, I've already put myself through too much. I just don't know. Just don't know how we're gonna do this.
Oh, it's damn it. Like, even you look at Zareth's Vader, and he has a speed set on.
Yeah.
He wants his Vader, like, I forget if it's 279. I forget where he has his Vader, but he wants his Vader over 270, and he was like, can't do that with an offense set. So, sorry. Like, here's the speed set.
I got my Vader to 262, which is pretty good. Yeah. I get in front of, like, all the Resistance Hero Finns that I really try to. I think they need to have a pretty disgusting one for me to be behind it.
Right.
When taking that counter in. I can't remember what the actual number is. I think it's like 345 or something like that, or 350 or something like that to get in front of that. So for Xerath, it's like if they've got God mods on there, he'll still be ahead of it, like, which is nuts.
Right. Yeah, I have an absurd offense set on Vader. So I have him at 279
Oh baby.
with an offense set. But I have a crit chance triangle and a potency cross on him. So the offense is, I think it's only at 8,000. That's why he's on the R8 list, because R8 will get him to 9,000.
That's the thing. It's like every time, until today had my Vader at Relic 5, just because I was like, it's a lot of slicing mats, and I'm just, I was working on other stuff, and I was hoarding and all these things, and then, like I was looking at doing the remod on some of these teams or whatever, and I just look over at the Vader for my like Ray counter, and I just was like, if I just take him up to Relic 7, we're talking like the high 8,000s on damage and not the high 7,000s. So
right,
what am I waiting for? And so I finally pushed him up to 7, and I'm like, I'll just eat the 2,000 GP in my top 80 on that one. Like,
I was actually thinking about that today, because I was like, again, I talk about my alt more than my main, because I have more fun on my alt, because there's only 2 GLs, and
it's like everybody likes their mistress more than their wife. Come on now.
No comment. My face is on screen right now. Like, but no, the alt is more fun because I have 2 GLs while my main account has 4, and it's like, so the main account is pretty much locked in with what teams I'm going to use. Like the alt, every round, it's like, oh man, I have to figure out a new team. I put more thought into the alt GAC, but today I was like, I really need to bite the bullet and get Vader up to R7. But at the same time, I'm working on my second R8 on that account. It's like, I really need to get the R8, and so I was looking at the gear that's required for both. And I was like, holy crap, to get both of these up, it's going to take me like 3 weeks to farm this crap.
Yeah, that's definitely the limiting factor in this game, is like, it's trying to speed stuff up just doesn't really work very well unless you're just like really willing to cracking out on it. Just be like, all right, fuck it, we're spending what we got to spend and get it happen, and that's about it.
Yeah, I have a guy in my guild that, he'll message me for advice every once in a while, and he's like, I see something, I want something, I have it type guy. And he already has 2 R8s because he bought the packs,
Oh yeah.
The second that they were sold. And he has a good account, so he finishes fairly high on the new pit raid. It's like, I have 2 more R8s to apply. I literally messaged him, how? And the answer is, he buys a vault, and he's like, what? I bought a vault, and I bought all the wristbands or the multi-tools, and I salvaged them. It wasn't that hard. Womp womp.
Yeah, you're like, it's gonna take me forever.
Meanwhile, I have the materials from the raid for 4 GLs, and it's like, I've been farming for a week on the bayonet node just to get enough of the salvage material, and no, you're still not there.
Yeah, I remember the conversion rate. I didn't even realize it was available in the Jawa scavenger thingy until someone mentioned it. Like I think it was someone I was just chatting with or something, I think it was on Egrace's stream, and someone said, "Oh, you can just salvage it, whatever." Because I remember saying something like, "Oh, I hate the pit raid. I don't really have any interest in doing it." And
there's that piece can't be salvaged. So there's 2 pieces that you need for R8.
Oh, okay.
One of them can be salvaged, and it takes 180 bayonets.
But I was hearing it was absurd to salvage enough stuff to get it.
Yeah, 180. It's like, oh my god, 180. Do you know how long it takes to farm that when the drops are 20%?
Yeah.
Oh,
like that,
painful.
I'm just thinking of it like, in terms of like when I was farming for like Kairos or something, when I was trying to get to unlock Master Luke and stuff. I'm just like, getting 180 of them. I mean, that was a lot of crystals, but I think I probably got that many, but it took me like 10 days of like quadruple crystal farming it Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
So here's the thing. You spoke about the epic confrontation. God, at the beginning of this.
yeah,
CG, whenever they want to release a new character, you, their pattern is before they do that, like a new special character, they will give you something that you want to burn your resources on
yeah.
before you need those resources. Like I mean, straight out of the playbook. Like that's what they do.
I think that was NBA. I think NBA for me
Yeah.
was the real, like, the bell tolling on something big like an epic confrontation. And the reason I keep
Yeah.
saying epic confrontation and not like they're not coming out with the GLs quickly enough is
Yeah.
I think what they're going to do is they're going to try to hit the epic confrontation out twice. The second time will be right before the new GLs drop. And with them in 3 months or so, it makes me like, okay, this is gonna happen. And
So
sorry, yeah,
yeah, so let me throw this out here for you. So you need all this gear to gear up your R8s, right? All those bayonets and med packs and multi-tools are sitting in the GET shop and they are common there. And I mean, like, every time you refresh the shop, one of those three is there, and you need 180 total of take your pick of one of those three to get these up. It would not surprise me if they're doing this to get people to burn GET1.
yeah.
And then, oh, look, here's a new character. You don't have these resources, and you're going to want these resources.
Absolutely. And that's another reason why I'm so sure that there's going to be another fleet meta is think about it this way. Like, I was in a, low to mid 200s million guild for pretty much the whole time Negotiator was out and Malevolence, right? And so I have both at 7-star, If I have both at 7-star, then that means the guys at, like, in the 300 plus mil guilds that have been in the 300 plus mil guilds the entire time these are coming out, they're sitting on like 100,000 plus of Get 2 and probably more of Get 1. Like, since General Skywalker, like, an older account's already going to have Hoda and Wampa, so there was nothing to burn there. Like, I just see them doing this limiting thing. So, like, when you look at they're trying to do an outreach to get newer players, but when they keep putting these, like, time lock characters in, like, okay, so the new great characters that we're releasing, some of them are going to be stuck behind these characters that you actually have to take, whatever, a year to farm up through your guild being successful. Depending on how big your guild is going to depend on how quickly you get them, that kind of thing. And it's like, well, then it becomes a thing. I was like, well, if I want to get into a more successful guild, my account needs to grow faster. If my account needs to grow faster, then I need to spend. And it's one of these things where they keep building these little areas where it's just gonna take so much longer for someone who's trying to, like, catch up now, like, and they make some changes that are great. Like, I love the changes they made to the shards dropping on the older characters. I think that's fantastic.
Oh yeah, agreed.
Yeah, especially, like I said, even for me, like, I've only been playing 3 years. There's so many characters that are useful that I just don't even have start up. Like, I never had time. Like, there's always other things I have to go for. So you're looking at stuff like that. So I'm going like, okay, so Get 1, it's do a new something. Get 2 is absolutely do a new something, because, I mean, Get 2, if you're spending it on your Kairos and stuff like that, then you're probably gonna regret it, and it's weird because it's hard not to. Like, I have always since I got everything completed, I've kept everything like over 30 or 40,000 in there, but my original goal was to have like 70,000 in there, so it's like, oh, Poe Dameron, I need that for Rey, otherwise it's gonna take me a year. Ding. That damn X-Wing is there again. Okay, Poe, here we go, 4 more shards.
Yeah. So I was one of those people that unlocked gas the first time he came out, and then watched people get him the second time and 7-star him while I still didn't have a 7-star gas because he GET1.
Yeah.
That will never happen again. I'm at 100K in GET1 and I think 130 in GET2, just not spending. am not making that mistake again. I lived through that entire meta where I was so excited to get out of the Darth Revan meta, and I couldn't.
Yeah,
I
and then
just
you
sat
were.
there for 3 months.
It's like, just when you think you're out, they pull you back in.
Yeah. Well, I'm really so I think a big announcement's coming soon. I would guess, what is that, next week? Because did you see the data mine had 4 new packs in it? That I think the data mine came out last night. Yeah, it was yesterday.
I actually haven't seen that. Did you have any? Do you know off the top of your head like what they were? Or?
Yeah, well, I know a couple of them. So there was one for Rebel ships.
Interesting.
There was, and then the one that I'm thinking of is called Character Growth Accelerator. Like, what the hell does that mean?
I have a pretty good idea. I'm thinking they're going to be doing something that's going to speed up your shard farming.
Maybe. Who knows?
I could see them selling something that like doubles shard drops on nodes for a specific amount of time.
I mean, that would be awesome.
Yeah, could you imagine?
Don't make me spend.
You're like, God damn it, CG, don't you do it. Don't you do it.
But yeah, I saw those data mines. So, you're just talking about you're trapped behind these time things. And then literally the pack is called Character Growth Accelerator. And I was like, are you going to be trapped though? Like,
well, here's the thing that I kept waiting for when they announced the requirements for Jedi Knight Luke, was I kept waiting for them to sell like packs with like the refreshable ones with Wampa and Hoda, and then
I don't get why they didn't.
It was really bizarre. Like they were selling one with like 15 shards or something. I think that was the most you could get from it or something like that. And I just remember looking at it going, well, that's ridiculous. Like that. The 15 shards won't do anything. I'll still be this far behind, and I go run a light side Hoth, merc out and do that, or go convince the guild to run it or something like that. Then that's gonna give me more than like what I need or whatever. It's like it's one of those you start doing the mental math. You're like, that doesn't make sense. It's like
for the longest time. Zareth and I on the podcast, we were fighting. So it's like we knew Jedi Master Luke was coming. It's like they gave the hint before they released all the requirements. And so it's like, there's no way they require Jedi Knight Luke because they want people to spend money.
That was my stance.
And why are you going to spend money if you can't get the character for 6 months, because of this GET 1 lock? And then they required Jedi Knight Luke, and I was like, I don't get this. Like, if they immediately switched to packs, I would be like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. But they didn't, and I don't understand it. And I know they don't just have one person; they have a team crunching the numbers. So obviously they know what they're doing, and they did it for a reason. But this just doesn't make sense to me. Like, why would you do that? Because I know. I can name probably 10 people off the top of my head that would gladly drop $100 for Wampa.
Yeah.
Just so that they could get their Jedi Knight Luke, because they're like Jedi Knight Luke and Jedi Master Luke, because they're stuck weakening their roster by murking for Hoth, and it's like they're not happy about it. So now they're miserable.
Yeah.
They can't get what they want when they would spend money. Like what goal is this achieving?
Well, see, I was in that weird spot. So, like, I was so fucking angry when they announced Jedi Knight Luke as a prereq. Like, I was just sitting there. I was like, "Fuck it, I'll Relic 7 farm boy. I don't give a shit. Like, Let's do it. Let's get crazy." And then they're like Jedi Knight Luke. I was like, "Wow!" Like, I was livid, just livid, because at that time, the only character I think I've ever the first time I've ever gone crazy on a new character was Chupio. I wanted that one so bad. Like, CLS is my favorite team in the game. I was like, Chupio was amazing. Like, brought him up to a new level. I was like, I need to have this character. I waited until he went into the store, and then I just bought a vault, and I used the vault to buy all of the shards, basically. And so I had him done. And then when they started announcing for Jedi Master Luke in the first the first thing was Chupio and Mon Mothma, and I was sitting there, I'm like, all the stuff here, like,
Yeah.
I have most of this. Like, if I just get Mon Mothma, so then I bought another vault, and I bought shards for Mon Mothma, and I got her. Then they announced the Jedi Knight Luke thing, and I'm like, 6 fucking months! Like,
yeah.
I was like, I didn't have to buy Mothma. I still would have bought Chupio because I wanted that character, but I would not have bought Mothma.
I am really worried about the next Galactic Legends, like what they're going to require, because I was looking at my roster, and I don't spend a ton, though.
Yeah.
And when I do, I don't buy shards. I'll buy, I'll have gift cards or something. I'll buy gear. That's fine. But I was looking at my roster, and it's like, for not being a heavy spender, I have a lot of things G12.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of things G12. So what are they going to require for the next Galactic Legends? Because if I have a lot of things G12, the people that are spending the money,
yeah, they have everything at Relic 5 plus.
Right. So how do you get them to spend money? Let's be honest. You make, what is it? You make 90% of your profit off of 1% of the population in these games. Like, what are they going to require that's going to make them spend money? And that scares the crap out of me.
I was going to say, the scary version, they make it so you have to use your entire roster to do something, and it has to be like a really ridiculous, like, leapfrog kind of thing. Like, I'm pretty sure, like, people talking about this fake, the fake Kenobi picture, like, oh, he's gonna be the next Master Kenobi, he's gonna be the next. I'm like, okay, someone got you, number one. But number two, it's like, if it's a galactic legend from Galactic Republic, I guarantee you need like a Relic 7 fucking cam. I guarantee you.
Oh yeah, and Kit Fisto, like,
oh yeah,
get your kits.
Relic 7 kit, you're going to get like Relic 7 Ayla Sakura, you're going to need like a Relic 5 Jedi Consular. We know it's coming. Like, it's one of those. It's like, it's going to be all the trashy ones that no one has, like the Relic Loomies of the world, like that's going to be what's going to be there. And it's really crazy, because I'm like, well, think of it this way. If they're going to require, if you're going to do a Galactic Republic, if they're going to do a GR Galactic Legend, right?
Yeah.
Separatists are the most well-developed faction in the game.
Yes.
Like, you go down and you look at guys with like 1.5 million GP. They've got a Grievous. They've got some bugs. Like, they're developing it. They're looking, as soon as people can Relic Watt, he goes Relic. Like, where are they making the money there? Like, Seps are the natural foil to the Galactic Republic, and there's nobody left to gear.
It's got to, if they do a Kenobi, and I mean, I know today was fake. Today was an obvious fake.
Super obvious.
But a Kenobi wouldn't surprise me, because he's powerful and he's famous. And when they announced Galactic Legends, those were the two requirements. So they pretty much have to do Maul. And we've already geared up a lot of Sith. So it wouldn't surprise me if they do Scoundrel Maul.
I could see that.
And then you just have to gear up all these crappy scoundrels. It's like, oh, god damn it.
And meanwhile, somewhere like Clash's radar just paying these like, huh?
Right. Clash woke up.
It's like, something amazing just happened.
I heard the word scoundrels.
Someone uttered the name.
But it's like, look at how you have to gear some of these scoundrels. I mean, there's a reason that I have a 7.3 million account, and my Kira is still Gear 11.
Yeah.
It's because Gear 11 sucks, and her Gear 10 sucked as well. Like,
yeah.
That's what I'm calling. Next Galactic Legend requires Kira. I don't know how, I don't know why, but it requires Kira, because screw her. Like,
yeah. I was gonna say, it's gonna be it's obviously, if it's gonna go that way, it's gonna be smugglers and scoundrels. Like, see that brings up the cool point. Like, there's so much they could do away from the films that would be awesome. Like Galactic Legend with Revan, a Galactic Legend Revan that requires all of the Old Republic and the Sith Empire guys to be like Relic 5 plus, right?
Sure.
There's a lot of people that already have a lot of it, but I can guarantee you there are very few relic Karths in this game. You know, there are very few
fair.
relic Juhanis. You know,
Yeah.
like there's a lot of characters that are totally overlooked and will never be geared. Like
Yeah.
as good as Mission and Zalbar are, I'm probably not throwing a relic on them for a long ass time. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's a funny one to see when you like. That's how I started thinking about what's going to be next. Is I start looking at where the big gaps are. You know,
Right.
especially
Oh, yeah.
especially on someone like my roster, right? Like that's what made me think it was going to be Empire and Rebels originally when they were going to do the 2 new Galactic Legends. I was like, it's got to be. Look at all these bad Rebels that someone like me will never even star up. You know, look at all these bad Empire characters that are, you know, not there. And even though troopers are good, before Piet, like they were very limited in what you could do with them. So it's like there wasn't really any real call to have good troopers, you know, because yeah, they can blow up a Night Sister team or bounty hunters or something like that. But you know, you weren't really facing a lot of those, you know. And if you had investment in troopers instead of say something like, I don't know, you know, CLS or something, then you've limited what you can use your gear on anyway. Like, so it's a weird one. So, like the gaps where I'm seeing it, like I think bounty hunters are a really good shout. Scoundrels, smugglers, great shout. Like that's a lot of stuff that gets completely overlooked. Like. And it's funny because there's not a ton of factions that you go, well, I don't know. I mean, like you can see like maybe sand people and Jawas for like, you know, a galactic legend, you know, Sith Lord Vader or something like that. Like, sure, why not? You know, like I could see CG doing it. I could absolutely see them doing it. And it's just because they're like,
still think Kit Fist. So I said Kit Fisto. I said him for a reason because, you know, back when Territory Battle first came out, Kit Fisto was in the platoons, and so it's like, all right, there was a legit problem back in the day of who had a 7-star Kit Fisto, and so I looked up the stats on it, and there is a total of only 270 of them at Gear 13. There are still 70,000 Kit Fistos at level 0. Yeah. And you look at how many people in the game have him at 7-star, it's a quarter. 25% of the game has him at 7-star. That's not a lot of people.
No.
So you're absolutely right. I look at those stats, and those are the stats that are telling me, like, uh-oh.
Yeah, I should probably star up Kit Fisto.
Right. Yeah, at least star him up. Like, I'm never geared Kit Fisto.
Well, I mean, Rambam's got a relic gear Fisto, I believe.
So Kit Fisto was my first. You know how when you start the game, you get like an automatic unlock, and some people are cool and reroll accounts back in the day, and they got like Baze or Charut. Yeah. My first was Kit Fisto, so he was my first Gear 7. And I know Gear 7 doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're a week into the game, you're like, man, this guy has this AoE and he counterattacks, and this is awesome.
Yeah.
He's still a Gear 7.
It's like my brother got me into this game, and I remember his like free unlock character was Sidious. And so he had like a gear, he took him up to like I think Gear 9 or something right away, and he was just slaughtering everything. And I remember he was like in my friend ally thing, so whenever I was like doing my missions with my energy and I'd see him there, I was like, ooh, Sidious, that AoE rips, you know, like and he was kicking ass, and I was like, I had my Gear 5 Phoenix or something like that, you know.
right. Yeah, and then you hit over Gear 11 and you're like, Sidious, what does he do anymore?
Yeah, you're like, that guy hits like a wet noodle.
Yeah.
Yeah,
anyone that's done the Sith Eternal event will tell you he hits like a wet noodle.
That is something I'm definitely not looking forward to, is getting through that part with Sidious.
I bit the bullet. I'll be honest. I didn't want to deal with it. I just gave him the Zeta. I did not. I was not bothering with that.
Yeah, that's sort of the thing that I was thinking I'll probably just end up doing for the most part. Using his like heal immunity and debuffs and stuff like with Treya or something like that. You know, like I'm like, he can get some use from that. I mean, He'll have tons of health, so he'll be a roadblock. You know, they got to kill him, and
So if you combine, this is a 5v5 team, but if you put him and Dooku on a Sith Eternal team, I'm gonna say this as a Supreme Leader Kylo owner. Supreme Leader Kylo owners just cannot resist solos. Like, they're like, I have Kylo, I'm gonna solo this. I can't tell you how many people I've trapped with General Grievous in front of a Galactic Legend because they're like, oh look, Grievous, I can solo that, and then they go in solo, and then it's like, oh crap, Rey's in the back. Like, what do I do? But if you put Sidious and Dooku on a Sith Eternal team, idiots are going to try and Kylo solo it.
And the heal immunity and ability blocks.
Heal immunity and ability block, it ruins the solo. But that doesn't stop people from trying, and they'll still be like, yeah, but what if I can stun Dooku really early? Then it won't be that bad. Go ahead. Go try. Good luck. Yeah.
But that's definitely something to think about. I'd be like probably going like health and potency on Sidious, not try to even bother with the damage on him. Just be like, all right, you're here for your Devos, buddy. Let's make it work.
Basically, yeah. It's like, you're here for two things: get those exposes out on the first turn, and healing immunity out on the second turn.
Exactly. It's perfect. It's perfect.
Yeah.
Anyway, we've been chittering chattering for an hour and 40 minutes now, so I just realized I should probably let you go. I was like, I'm out of tea. I'm also out of water. Interesting.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Yeah, my water bottle disappeared somehow. I don't know.
Anyways, thanks so much for coming and having a chat with me. It was a great time. If you guys don't remember, you got to go check him out on the on Twitch there. We got Solobass doing his stuff. He's also with the Gambit Podcast Crew, so he's been doing that podcast there on Monday nights. So go check that out. And obviously, come and check me out. We have a lot of fun too, so let's do that. Anyway, thanks so much for having the chat. I really appreciate it. Is there anything you want to close out with, or?
No, just thanks for having me, and keep it going.
All right, thanks, man. All right, you have a good one.
You too.